What if the very thing you've been running from, the anxiety, the tension, the endless cycle of worry, wasn't something to fight, but something to walk through? Think about that for a moment. Anxiety shows up, and most of us just resist it. We push it away, we label it as bad, and in doing so, we unknowingly give it more power. What if anxiety is not your enemy? What if it's a messenger pointing you towards growth, alignment, and even freedom? In today's episode of the Walking for Health and Fitness podcast, I'm going to show you how walking can become one of the most powerful tools you've ever used to quiet anxiety and find peace of mind. And I don't just mean going for a stroll. I mean transforming your walk into a moving meditation that rewires your brain, resets your mood, and restores your sense of control. We're going to cover 3 simple walking hacks that can crush anxiety right now. 1, meeting anxiety instead of fighting it. This is inspired by the teachings of David Bayer in his podcast and in his incredible book, A Changed Mind. 2, practicing gratitude walks that reset your mental script. And 3, using your senses to anchor you back into the present moment when your mind wants to spin out into the past or future. And here's a bonus hack. Because fall is one of the most stressful times of the year, shorter days, packed schedules, routines shifting, we'll also explore how a daily 10-minute moving meditation can be your release valve to walk through this season with calm and clarity. By the end of this episode, you won't just understand why walking reduces anxiety, you'll have a set of tools you can use today on your very next walk to move through stress with more confidence and ease. So lace up your shoes, take a deep breath, and let's step into a new way of relating to anxiety, one step at a time. So hello, I'm Frank Ring. I'm the author of the Amazon bestseller, Walking for Health and Fitness, and the creator of the website by the same name. My walking journey began after a serious back injury sidelined me for 4 long months, leaving me in constant pain and out of work. But walking changed everything. Step by step, I reclaimed my health, rebuilt my fitness, and discovered a way of moving that heals both body and mind. Now my mission is simple: to educate, inspire, and guide others to do the same, to use walking as a lifelong tool for fitness, freedom, and lasting well-being. Let's begin. Segment 1, the science of walking away anxiety. So let's start with the science, because when you understand what's happening in your body and brain, walking stops being just a stroll and becomes one of the most powerful tools you have for managing anxiety. Anxiety at its core is your body's stress response kicking into overdrive. Cortisol levels spike, your heart rate goes up, and your nervous system shifts into fight or flight or freeze mode, even when there's no real danger. Freeze mode occurs when instead of moving, your body shuts down or goes still. This is like hitting pause until the danger passes. That's why people may feel paralyzed by fear. And that's why anxious thoughts feel so overwhelming. But here's where walking works its magic. When you move, you're not only burning off that excess stress energy, you're also changing your brain chemistry in ways that directly calm anxiety. So let's look at the neurotransmitters involved. There's serotonin. Now, walking boosts serotonin, which stabilizes mood and helps you feel grounded and emotionally steady. Dopamine. That's the reward chemical. Every step you take gives you a little lift, making you feel motivated and capable. Endorphins, the body's natural painkillers and mood boosters. Think of them as your built-in stress antidote. And GABA. Now this is a big one. GABA is the brain's natural brake pedal. It quiets overactive neurons and produces a calming effect. Many anti-anxiety medications work by targeting GABA, but walking increases it naturally. Now add in the environment. A growing body of research shows that walking in nature amplifies these effects. Green spaces, sunlight, fresh air. They soothe your nervous system in ways that a treadmill just can't match. In 2023 study in Nature Mental Health found that even a short walk outdoors significantly lowers anxiety and depression symptoms. Now that's not to say walking in an urban setting doesn't help. It absolutely does. Any movement will lower cortisol and boost those brain chemicals. But when you can, choose the park, the trail, or even a tree-lined street. Nature gives your brain an extra reset button. I go into all of this in detail in my book, Walking Works Blueprint, a 14-day quick start plan to build a walking habit, reduce anxiety, and jumpstart weight loss. If you want to dig deeper into the science and see the full plan, I'll leave a link in the description so you can check it out. But science is only half the story. Understanding why walking works is important, but learning how to use walking as a moving meditation, a practice to reframe your thoughts and emotions, that's where the real transformation begins. Segment 2, hack number 1, meeting anxiety instead of fighting it. Now, hack number 1 for walking away anxiety is this: stop fighting it. Here's the thing about anxiety: most of us try to battle it. We resist. We tell ourselves this shouldn't be happening or what's wrong with me. And the harder we fight, the stronger anxiety seems to get, as I'll share my story later in this segment. But as David Bayer explains in his book, A Changed Mind, and in his podcast that I've been listening to, anxiety isn't your enemy. It's a messenger. It's your nervous system trying to get your attention. Sometimes that message is you're out of alignment, or you need to slow down, or even you're on the edge of something new and unfamiliar. When we treat anxiety as a signal rather than a flaw, we shift our whole relationship with it. Here's the paradox. Resistance fuels anxiety, but allowing it, letting those sensations move through without judgment, softens it. Instead of trying to stop the storm, you walk with it until the cloud passes. And walking is the perfect place to practice this. So try this on your next walk. Number 1, notice the signal. Pay attention to where anxiety shows up in your body. Maybe it's a tight chest, a knot in your stomach, or buzzing in your head. Don't judge it, just notice. Number 2, pair it with breath. Use the odd number step breathing pattern that I've talked about in previous episodes. You inhale for 4 steps, exhale for 3. That's an odd number 7-step cycle. That uneven rhythm naturally balances your body and quiets the mind. It gives that anxious energy somewhere to flow. And number 3, reframe the narrative. As anxious thoughts pop up, instead of saying, I hate this, I need to stop it, try a compassionate reframe. This is my body preparing me for growth, or I can walk through this. Each step becomes a choice, to resist or to allow. And every time you choose allowing, the anxiety loses a little of its grip. And I have a personal story to interject here, because this shift from resistance to allowing has showed up in my life too. Now, it's a story from 2007. I'll keep it as brief as possible. And most of my life, I never dealt with anything close to anxiety or panic attacks until one incident changed everything. In 2007, my son was 5 years old. We were flying to Disney World. That morning was stressful, traffic, TSA issues, and as the plane was pulling out of the gate, I suddenly felt claustrophobic. I broke into a sweat and then blacked out. I came to with my ex-wife in a panic and oxygen on my face. The pilot turned the plane around and we were asked to get off. We ended up driving to Florida the next morning, but that's when things got strange. Now, heading south on I-95, I remembered a story about a family friend who had a panic attack on Space Mountain in Disney. Then again, as she approached the Baltimore tunnel on the way home. So here we are, approaching that same tunnel, and I couldn't shake her story. It played over and over in my head, and sure enough, my heart started racing, my breath grew shallow, and I felt like I might pass out again. From then on, bridges and tunnels became my trigger. If there was no shoulder lane, the panic hit hard, heart pounding, adrenaline rushing, hands gripping the wheel. This went on for over a year and a half. Then one day I was listening to a Tony Robbins CD about reframing, and it clicked. The way I felt on those bridges, heart racing, breathing fast, dizzy, that was the same way I felt on a roller coaster. So what if instead of resisting it, I leaned into it? Now, the next time I drove over the Driscoll Bridge, that's a massive 3/4 mile span in New Jersey, I reframed the panic. I reminded myself that I never actually passed out while driving. I told myself, this isn't danger, this is a thrill. And you know what? I made it across and it felt exhilarating. Like a roller coaster ride, only I was in my car. And here's the most interesting part. Once I embraced those feelings, they started to fade. The fear didn't have the same power anymore. Over time, the panic subsided and eventually it just stopped showing up. The thrill was gone. Now, this meeting anxiety instead of fighting it isn't about a quick fix. David Bayer reminds us that change is built through small, consistent practice. One mindful walk or reframing won't ease years of anxious habits, but stack enough of these walks together and you start rewiring how you relate to anxiety itself. And that's why I recommend David Bayer's work. His book, A Changed Mind, I've read it, I've listened to the audiobook on my walks, and I tune into his podcast regularly. They're incredible resources, and if you want to go deeper into shifting your relationship with anxiety, I'll link to all of those in the show notes. Now remember, hack 1 is this. When anxiety shows up, don't fight it. Let it walk with you step by step until it softens and fades. And segment number 3, hack number 2, gratitude walks, resetting the mental script. Hack number 2 is one of my personal favorites. It's the gratitude walk. Here's how it works. With each step, name something you're thankful for. Doesn't have to be big. Actually, the smaller the better. Step 1, I'm grateful for the crisp air this morning. Step 2, I'm grateful my body lets me move today. Step 3, I'm grateful for the smile I just shared with the neighbor. Now, what's happening here is more than just positive thinking. Gratitude actually rewires your brain. Neuroscience shows that when you intentionally focus on what's good, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the very same chemicals that anxiety suppresses. In other words, gratitude short-circuits the anxious thought loop and replaces it with a calmer, steadier rhythm. And it doesn't stop at walking. In my Walking Works program, there's a built-in gratitude exercise that I ask you to do every day. After each walk, I have you write down what you're grateful for. Even if it's just one simple thing, that act of writing does something powerful. It takes a fleeting thought and locks it into your awareness. Over time, you build a gratitude record, and you could look back on it on harder days as proof that good moments are always present. The beautiful thing is, gratitude walks and gratitude journaling reinforce each other. The walk gets you in the state of noticing, and the writing locks it in. That combination creates a feedback loop of calm, clarity, and resilience. So here's the challenge. On your next walk, try it for 5 minutes. With each step, quietly name something you're thankful for. Then when you get home, jot down 1 or 2 of those in a notebook or on your phone. Or, if you're following my Walking Works blueprint, write in the daily log. That's hack number 2, gratitude walks. Each step shifts your focus away from anxiety and towards appreciation. And over time, it rewires your mental script. So the power of starting. Before we move forward, if you'd like a simple tool to help you build momentum with these practices, I've got a free gift for you. It's called The Power of Starting. Inside, I'll show you how one small step, literally a 5-minute walk, can reset your mindset and get you moving toward better health right away. You can grab your free copy through the link in the show notes or by going to walkingforhealthandfitness.com/the power of starting. And segment 4, this is hack number 3, sensory focus walk, anchor to the present. Hack number 3 is what I like to call the sensory focus walk. This is all about using your 5 senses to anchor yourself in the present moment. Anxiety loves to live in 2 places, the past and the future. It replays old worries or it projects worst-case scenarios about what's coming next. Rarely does anxiety show up in the present moment. And that's our opening, because walking gives us a chance to step into the now. Here's how you do it as you walk. Run through your 5 senses. Sight. What do you see? The color of the sky, the shape of the trees, the way the light hits the building. Sound. What do you hear? Maybe birds, kids playing, your own footsteps crunching on the ground. Smell. Take in the scents around you. And in fall, that might be wood smoke from a fireplace, crisp morning air, or yes, even pumpkin spice drifting out of a cafe. Touch. Feel. Notice how the air feels on your skin. Swing your arms or the texture of your path under your shoes. Now taste. Sometimes you catch a taste of the season, the cool, clean flavor of autumn air, or maybe the lingering taste of your morning coffee. The key is to cycle through each sense, one by one as you walk. You don't have to force it, just notice what's already there. And every time your mind drifts back to the anxious thoughts, gently return to a sense. Fall is actually the perfect season for this. The crunch of the leaves under your feet, the cool air in your face, the warm sun on your back. It's like nature itself is reminding you to pause and notice. This practice works because it shifts your attention away from anxious thoughts loops and grounds you in your body, your senses, in the here and now. And when you're present, anxiety has a much harder time sticking around. So hack number 3 is this: turn your next walk into a sensory reset. Let your 5 senses guide you back to calm, one step at a time. And segment 5, a bonus hack. Fall stress reset, walking through the season. All right, we've covered the 3 powerful hacks. This bonus hack is all about resetting your stress this fall. Because truth is, fall does ramp up stress for a lot of people. Let's talk about why, then how walking, especially short moving meditations, can help steady the ship. Here's why stress ramps up in the fall. Now, there are several reasons fall tends to come with more tension, and it's not just because summer's over. Research shows a few consistent triggers. There's less daylight and changing light exposure. As days shorten, sunlight decreases. That throws off our internal clock, our circadian rhythm, which influences sleep, mood, and hormone regulation. Less light means lower serotonin levels and more melatonin, which makes us feel more sluggish, more moody. Okay. There's also the routine shifts and transitions. Fall often means back to school, increased work demands, more structure after a looser summer. That change in pace and schedule can stress even people who normally roll with the changes. Social, financial, and holiday pressures. As fall moves towards holidays, more social obligations, more planning, more expectations. For many, that adds layers of stress, both emotional and logistical. And behavioral and environmental shifts. Cool the weather means fewer limber, spontaneous outdoor moments. People go indoors more, get less physically active, and often less exposure to nature or sunlight. These all tend to correlate with mood dips. So it's not surprising many people report feeling more anxious, more fatigued, more mentally sticky this time of year. Now, walking as your release valve and 10-minute moving meditation. Now, here's the good news. Walking is one of the best ways to push back. It becomes your release valve, a simple portable tool to reset your nervous system. Now, here's a mini practice I want you to try, a 10-minute moving meditation daily. So find a time each day, morning, afternoon, or evening, when you can walk about 10 minutes without rushing. Start mindfully. Begin with a few deep breaths. Let your body settle into the movement. Use a hack. You can combine one of the previous hacks, maybe the odd number breathing pattern or the gratitude or the sensory focus, to anchor your meditation. Slow pace and presence. Don't worry about speed. It's not cardio, it's awareness. Let your steps be steady. Let your mind settle. When thoughts drift, gently return to your breath or your senses. Doing this for just 10 minutes can help lower cortisol, reset your mood, interrupt anxiety loops, and ground you in the present. And the reflection of the week, the Step Forward Challenge. Before we wrap up, it's time for the reflection of the week. This week, I want you to take one walk where your only focus is practicing hack 1, allowing anxiety instead of resisting it. Here's how you do it. Before you walk, pause for a moment and notice how you feel. If you're anxious, stressed, or restless, don't push it away. Just acknowledge it. Say to yourself, this is what's here right now. Then during your walk, when anxious thoughts or sensations come up, practice allowing them. Notice them without judgment. Pair it with the odd number breathing pattern if you'd like. Inhale for 4 steps, exhale for 3 to help the energy move through. Then after your walk, take a few minutes to journal. Write down how you felt before, how you felt after, and any shifts you noticed along the way. That's it. One intentional walk this week. Let it be your experiment in walking with anxiety instead of fighting against it. Remember, this isn't about getting it perfect. It's about practicing. And with each practice, you're building a new, calmer relationship with your own mind. So there you have it. 3 powerful walking hacks to crush anxiety right now. Hack 1, meeting anxiety instead of fighting it. Hack 2, gratitude walks that reset your mental script. And hack 3, sensory focus walks that anchor you in the present moment. And remember the bonus hack, especially in the fall when the stress ramps up, your daily 10-minute moving meditation can be the release valve that steadies you through the season. And if today's episode resonated with you, I want to give you a gift. It's my free guide, The Power of Starting. Go to walkingforhealthandfitness.com/thepowerofstarting. Inside, you'll discover one simple step to shift your mindset, build momentum, and start you on the path to a healthier, calmer, and more confident you. I'll leave a link in the show notes. Go download it today. Remember, you don't have to wait for the perfect time to change your story. You just need to start. And every step you take is proof that you can. So until next time, keep walking forward. This is Frank for Walking for Health and Fitness. And as I always say, walk on. Thanks for joining me on this episode of the Walking for Health and Fitness podcast. If this episode helped you, hit subscribe, give it a like, and share it with a friend who wants to supercharge their walks. Then check out another episode of the Walking for Health and Fitness podcast.